Rachel. I have Laura here in the office, and she is here to interview with me and just get to know her and everything that she's about. So how are you doing today?
I'm good.
You're doing good?
Yeah.
So I know we reached out on social media.
Mhm.
You're in the same film industry that I'm in, and we have the same connections.
A lot of the same connections.
Yes.
The Dallas community is pretty small, so
Mhm.
everybody kind of knows everybody.
So how did you get started in that?
Well, it's kind of an ugly story. I was attacked in 2019,
Mhm.
and after everything I went through with that, I was like, I'm gonna do all the stuff I wanted to do as a kid.
Okay.
And it kind of just snowballed. Like, I started acting. About 9 months later, I
Mhm.
kept getting requests from photographers to model, and I was
Mhm.
like, I'm chunky. Like, are you sure? Like, do you know what you're getting yourself into? And then that kind of snowballed.
Mhm.
And so for a little while, I just modeled. And then back into acting. I started writing. I started directing. I'm a cinematographer now.
Mhm.
I have a production company now.
Mhm.
242 Productions.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's anything creative. I've always been a really creative person.
Mhm.
Both my parents are very creative in their own rights. My mom's more of an artist.
Mhm.
She taught us to paint, sew, sculpt, all that stuff when we were kids.
Right.
She actually made all of my clothes till I was like a freshman in high school.
Oh wow.
So it was kind of a big deal. Like, freshman year, I was like, all my clothes were bought at a store. I was picked on a lot, but it was cool to have your own personal tailor. You know,
Mhm.
people just didn't look at it that way because we were kids. We didn't know anything.
Mhm.
And then my dad's extremely creative too. He loves to draw. He loves to paint. He's very mechanical. He's an electrician, so he builds all kinds of stuff. Like, he
Mhm.
taught us how to build computers and program computers.
Wow.
And taught us DOS back in the day. So yeah.
Mhm. So you're just all involved.
Oh yeah. Any and everything. If there's some way to be creative with it,
Mhm.
I'm down.
Mhm.
I'm down. And I think it shows. Like, last year I got really wild with, like, my modeling and stuff,
Mhm.
and the artistry of the makeup work, and
Mhm.
really styling my shoots and stuff. So
Because you do your own makeup too,
yes,
right?
do my own hair, makeup,
Wow.
all that stuff.
And then the special effects on the film sets too. You do
Yes.
those too.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, she's all in it. I'm telling you. Now I see her on social media. This woman is so busy. It's like every weekend she's like, guess what I did this weekend? And I was like, man, she's probably about as busy as I am, sure, but probably more busy.
Oh yeah, because when I'm, like, Monday through Friday during the school year, I teach 6th grade math, and I am the department chair for 6th grade.
Mhm.
So I stay really busy during the week,
Mhm.
taking care of everybody else's babies.
Mhm.
And I love it. I love teaching. For about 4 years,
Mhm.
I was the director of instructional technology because I got my master's in that, but then it just wasn't feeding the need. I still miss the kids.
Mhm.
I didn't really agree with some of the things, so we felt, the assistant superintendent and I both felt like it was just best that I go back to the classroom.
Mhm.
And it's my forte, working with especially the struggling kids, the
Mhm.
rough kids. I can identify with them really well
Mhm.
and get them to work for me. So
That's good. That's good. I know, like, I have a few friends that are also teachers as well, and they said that, like, the school is actually kind of like, not, I wouldn't say, it's kind of like going down. Like, they're losing their focus
Mhm.
on the kids.
Mhm.
And it's really hurting a lot of the teachers, you know, because it's more like you have to do this, 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 and this by this time.
Mhm.
And if your kids are not meeting the certain level, then you are like, you're like penalized as a teacher or something like that.
I'm fortunate. My district doesn't do a whole lot of that.
Mhm.
It's more of how can we do intervention to help the
Mhm.
kids. So, and I will say that is something that was implemented probably about 8-9 years ago,
Mhm.
where we really do try to intervene and get kids help when they
Mhm.
need it. And I'm very fortunate that everybody I work with listens to whatever it is I've got to say about how somebody's progressing.
Mhm.
So I guess it just depends on which district you're at and what things are coming down from the top, because
Mhm.
there is a whole extra plate of stuff that has been handed down to teachers as far as
Mhm.
paperwork and tracking things, and it sometimes gets in the way of doing what you need to do
Mhm.
when you need to do it.
Right.
So it's it's been a whirlwind, especially after COVID.
Because all the kids are. Does your district give options on whether the kids can work from home or be at the school?
They did for a couple of years, but we no longer do that.
Don't do that anymore.
No.
Now you have to come in.
You have to come.
I understand that. Yes. So I mean, I respect you as a teacher. I respect you,
Thank you.
even being a parent and then working with other people's kids. I know it must be hard sometimes to.
It is. I'm so guilty of worrying more about my students than I do my own kids. And I know it's terrible, but I'm really, really blessed. My kids are older. They're 16 and 22. One of them's in college for creative writing. The other one is in high school and about to start dual credit.
Right.
So he'll be like one semester away from graduating college when he graduates high school.
What?
And
so cool.
he's my little sound man, so he comes to set with me a lot. Even whenever like I'm modeling, he'll come and talk about camera settings and stuff with the photographers, and because he's into photography right now. So he's my little genius. That one, my oldest is a genius too in his own right, but this one is the creative genius. He makes knives. He's got a forge at the house. He makes knives. He runs sound for me. He's wanting to learn how to be a cinematographer. And he's a wonderful welder.
Wow.
But he draws, he sculpts, he 3D prints stuff. Like, the kid is just kind of all over the place.
Has he got a job in welding yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay, y'all hear that, right? My husband does welding for a living.
Oh, that's awesome.
He has his own business.
Well, hey, let my boy know. No, it's funny. They chose to take him to a competition at the college. He's only 16. He's just a sophomore this last year, and they were like, "No, we want you on the welding team." And like he put down better welds than his teacher. So they're like, "This kid is great," and I was like, "Thanks."
This kid is going places.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's really amazing. I admire all kinds of creative kids, you know, in the DFW industry. I mean, DFW Metroplex, you know, because there's a lot of children out there that have so many talents that they haven't explored yet.
Yes. And if there's one thing I could say to parents, it's if your kid has an interest in it, let them do it. Let them do it. Because what's the worst that could happen? They decide they don't like it, and so you wasted like a week or two instead of wondering forever, or them going to college and wasting money on classes just to find out they didn't like it. Like, you know, I'd rather you know now so you have a plan later.
I encourage that too. So my daughter, she has a interest in cosmetology.
Love it.
And I told her, I was like, look, we might have some work for you. We might bring you to a set and let you do some work and everything. And she wants to model too, but she can't build the confidence. And you can do it, baby. I know you're probably watching this video. And then my oldest daughter, she has an interest in creating a nonprofit. She has one for mental health awareness. I believe that's really important. My son, he does, you might meet him here in a little bit, but he actually does computer generated characters.
Oh, I love that.
For like virtual reality. And my youngest son, he's a gamer. His dream is to make his own video game and get rich off of it.
Yeah, well, that sounds like my oldest because, you know, creative writing, he does a lot of the online gaming and stuff, and I think that's probably the route he's going to go. He has spoken to some of my friends who are film writers, and they're like, oh my gosh, your kid is so freaking smart. Like, I would have never thought to throw that in as a plot twist, and I'm like, thanks. Like, it's kind of wild.
Be like, give him credit.
Yeah,
give him credit.
Absolutely.
So you got some projects you're working on right now that you can talk about?
Yes. I have a short that I wrote alongside with Jason Ware about me getting into this industry, like the event that caused all of that. And so we're in the midst of filming that. I think we have a couple more scenes to do, and then that'll be done. And that one packs a punch. It's
like a personal project.
It's a very personal project, but like I have friends who I became friends with after all of that, so they didn't know, they didn't see like my depression through all of that or any of that, and I let them see the first rough cut, and these are like, one of them's the most cynical person I've ever met in my life. He has something to say about everything, but when he watched it, like of course he's talking smack here and there, but when he got to that scene, he was just like mouth wide open, and I was like, there we go. Yeah. It's gold. It's gold. If Cody doesn't have anything to say about it, it is gold.
And And
So-
that's one of the good things about, like, whenever you do filmmaking, you want to make something that's impressionable but also realistic that people can relate to.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I feel like movies, especially, like when you're making a movie, like that's one of the goals. You want the crowd to interact with the movie, like relate to it.
For sure. That's, I guess it was like a year ago, we were talking about doing a short for Film Prize in Louisiana. And, it was one of the discussions I had with Jason. I was like, if you want to win, you have to draw emotion from your audience, whether it be, it's a funny, like a comedy, or something like super sad, super like pulls on your heartstrings. One or the other, those are the films that usually win those competitions. And it's because they drew emotion from your audience. And he was like, okay. So, and we both worked on a project in Louisiana last summer. Everything that could have went wrong. So we came back home. It's okay. Things happen. It was a learning experience for all of us.
Curve.
So.
Understandable. I know that. So, question for you.
Yes.
So you heard that the Hollywood is kind of moving to DFW,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
how do you feel about that?
I'm ecstatic.
Me too.
I'm like, hey, I don't have to move.
I hear they're saying that DFW is like the new Hollywood scene, or can be.
I'm hoping it is. But I mean, with everything that goes down in Austin and Houston, I don't know that that's the place that it's going to be. I hope so. I really do. Just because it's so much easier for me to access. And I like living in my little country town. I don't like having to drive for hours unless, it's really something great. But we'll see. Hopefully. I hope it works out that way.
I'm super excited. I know, like, ever since the start of this magazine and stuff, I've been seeing all these films pop up and people making local independent films and everything.
Yes, lots.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see them all that are coming out. I just want to sit down and just be like, just want to watch them all.
Yes,
And
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. Unless I'm in it, I don't want to watch it. Because I'm the most critical person about myself in every facet. Like, literally, it's awful. It's awful. But
I think everybody's their own critic and in their right mind, I guess.
I'm sure.
Yeah, so everybody, please follow her on social media. So give a shout out on your for your social medias.
Lora Ebadian, Ebadian on Facebook, Laura.L.Ebadian on Instagram, and if you just Google my name, you'll see them. Yeah,
that's awesome. And I really do appreciate you coming out here to interview with me.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Okay,
I'll tell you in it.
please. Yes, please go like, subscribe, share, follow us on What's Up Dallas YouTube channel. We are all over social media. If you just look us up, we got so many great things coming up, so many interviews, and just so many great people for y'all to meet. So please like, subscribe, share, comment, show some love, look us up, support everybody else that we have on here, and thank you for y'all's time. Bye.